Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Max from Media Search Program, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about the AMD Ryzen. Any comments, feedback, suggestions, please leave them down below and I'll be more than happy to respond. Now, to begin with the AMD Ryzen, if you haven't seen my previous video on Ryzen where I talk about the news, leaked benchmarks, what it is, what they have to offer, you can watch the video. I'll have a link down below or up top somewhere on the screen, so that'll give you a better understanding. To begin with, I'm going to be talking about what's happened so far. So far from 2nd of March, they have released the 7 series lineup from Ryzen, and you can see from the table here what's been released and what is out. So we've got the 1800X to rival Intel's $1,000 i7-6900K, and we've also got the 1700X, and there are benchmarks and different things being conducted. Now, we're going to have the mainstream chips, which are presumably the SR5, which I have here on a screen. They'll be releasing Q2 2017, and the lower budget tier chips will be second half of 2017. So you're looking at the third series of the Ryzen lineup, so the SR3s. Now, with that all there, I'd like to move on to the actual motherboard AM4 socket features. Now over here with the motherboard, we've got 5 different chipsets, as you can tell: X370, B350, A320, X300, and the A300. Now, every single one of these will have different features, as you can tell. Some of them have unlocked overclocking, some of them don't, like the A320 and the A300. Some of them support dual S-line crossfire. That won't be the case with the A320 or the B350 apparently. I'll have more updates as I go further along, so definitely subscribe and follow me on my social network to have more information regarding any newest updates. Anyhow, for the SFF, you're probably thinking what that is. It's pretty much like those miniature home theater PC systems, those little boxes. I'll have something on the screen that shows you what that is. That'll have 2 chipsets. So we've got the X300 or the A300. So if you're going to be wanting to overclock your HTPC, you may want to go with an X300, which will allow you to overclock the actual CPU, as the A300 will not have that actual ability to do so. Over here, just showcasing you a bit more other features, and it's pretty much the same thing, just in a different format. Now over here, AMD's X370 and X300 for enthusiasts and SFF AM4 motherboards. We can see by the picture here that it's pretty much going to be high-end chipsets for overclockers and tweakers who need robust platforms. So you can see dual-channel DDR4 memory, NVMe, M.2 SATA devices, USB 3.1 Generation 1 and Generation 2, and PCIe 3.0 compatibility. And I'll be showcasing you throughout the video different pictures of different motherboards and what configuration they are, if they're the X370s, X300s, or the mainstream B350s, and I'll be showcasing you. So over here you can see a B350. It'll offer most value in terms of I/O functionality. It offers less lanes compared to the X370, since it believes that most users won't go multi-GPU in this segment. However, it does have overclocking benefits for AM4 CPUs. Now, what I like to mention is, out of all the AM4 CPUs chipsets that we know so far, the AM4 CPUs, you'll be able to apparently overclock all of them. So as long as you got the right board, you'll be more than fine to do so. Now, the chipset B350 replaces the 970 and the A78 platforms. The B350 also features 70% power reduction over its AM3 Plus processor, and also the latest DDR4 memory controller also offers 22% more bandwidth compared to DDR3. So you're looking at more efficiency, and also you're looking at more performance, which is definitely a huge plus if it's going to be Intel's rival. That'll make them definitely lower the prices even further, as some online sources have stated that retailers already have started lowering prices on Intel products, as the demand for AMD is actually getting staggeringly, surprisingly big. So go Ryzen, go AMD, and go to CEO of AMD for that as well. Well done, you deserve definitely a huge thumbs up. Now, I selected over here an MSI AM4 motherboard vendor, and as you can tell, you've got the different ones: X370, the B350s, and the A320M. They're mainly all ATX form factor, except you've got some mini ATXs, but there's nothing on the X300 or the A300, which is the SFF small form factor, that might be released later on during the year, unfortunately. So we have to wait for that a little bit longer. And as you can see that we have over here, just a little quick note that the B350, as I said, will retain the overclocking. However, the A320 won't have that, neither will the A300 for the small form factors, as you can see that from the actual pictures itself. However, you will definitely have the PC, 4 PCIe Gen 2 lanes, which will have the one port for USB 3.1 generation 2, you'll have 2 USB 3 generation 3.1 generation 1, and you'll have, of course, 6 USB 2.0 ports, so that's more than fine. That's very good, in other words. Now, as we move on to gaming, I'm going to keep this very short and very close. A lot of people have been saying on the internet, YouTube and whatnot, that they're actually a bit surprised and staggered by how AMD's Ryzen 1800X, the top CPU in a line, actually doesn't perform that good in gaming. I was actually a bit surprised by this, to be honest, and honestly, wow. As you can see from the pictures here, Battlefield 1 DirectX 12 1080p Ultra presets, 16x AF, you can see that it does perform lower than its counterparts. There are suggestions that if you do disable SMT, which is pretty much stimulus multi-threading, it's a technique for improving overall efficiency of superscalar CPUs with hardware multi-threading. SMT permits multiple independent threads of execution to better utilize the resources provided by modern processor architecture. Unfortunately, this kind of does impact on gaming, but not all games. Some of them like it, some of them don't. It depends. Now, over here we can see with the Doom Vulcan that you can see that the Ryzen 7 800X gets 200 easily 200 average frames per second. That's because it's been optimized for Ryzen, and I'll get to that optimization in a little bit longer. I'll just leave over here just some more graphs, but what I want to show you here is the SMT disabled and SMT on, and you can see that with Hitman 2016 running at 1080p ultra detail, the one with SMT disabled actually does perform better than the Ryzen with SMT on. So you can definitely see all that kind of stuff and more details there. Now, moving on to rendering, this is pretty much where Ryzen shines the most. Now, if you're looking for a processor to do workstations such as video editing, photoshopping, and all types of other multimedia uses, AMD is going to be your best bet for now. As you can see from the CPU benchmarks Blender 4K render, that the 1800X, even though it's even overclocked and non-overclocked, outperforms pretty much every single other CPU except for the 6900K overclocked at 4.4 gigahertz. Now, keep in mind that AMD still needs to tweak a few things to get more better in the efficiency and rendering, but as you can see here that we've got a sample that shows Adobe Premiere render without CUDA, and you can tell that the R7 1800X does a very good job at 67.4 minutes. However, when you got CUDA enabled, it does it in 20.6 minutes, which is very, very good, and I'll have a bit more detail of that on the screen. So that's looking very, very promising. Now, just before I finish the video, one or two things I want to cover here is that, first of all, when it comes to doing higher quality gaming like scaling, it does say that Ryzen is doing very well in 1440p and 4K gaming when applications are more graphics bound, explained Sue. So pretty much what they're saying is that if you want to see Ryzen being in level with Intel, you need to get the graphics to about 1440p or 4K, which people have been regarding it bottlenecks the GPU more than anything else, meaning that you get more even scale. If you go lower resolutions like 1080p, you can see that Ryzen loses performance in gaming. So for gaming, if you're going to be doing 1080p, I would go Intel straight away. If you're going to be doing 2K or even 4K plus gaming, that kind of stuff, then you're looking at, you know, a level playing field. But my top tip here is if you're going to be doing like basically gaming, I would definitely go for Intel. But if you're going to be doing a little bit of gaming but video editing Photoshop, I would go Ryzen for now. And as you can see that they're trying to get they've got over 300 developers working to optimize AMD's performance on their game, so that definitely does look very, very good.